and the big team assembled, the number one team, it has to be said. It's always said. And it's nice just during the week to have it confirmed as I look at Gary Lyon here. Hello to you, the superstar from Melbourne, of course, and also Damien Barrett. We're one shy just at the moment, but we'll get that rectified shortly. The newsbreaker extraordinaire. Hello, Purple.
Hello, JB and Gaz. Where's Chief?
No, who cares? Well, Jim, it is nice to have you too.
Nice to be here, Gary.
Said, not really missed last week. We went on a road trip.
I know. I heard a lot about it, Gary.
I had to take the reins and probably drove it pretty well. I would have thought Warrior and I had our moments.
I heard.
But
we did have a moment.
We did have a couple of moments. Warrior started to just get it out, try to punch outside his weight, so I clipped him.
But I won that little battle.
What you would be delighted with, come on, Warrior, is that the family, the Triple M family, who have, as you rightly say, I don't tend to. This is more your area, but very clear and clear cut. They travelled with us.
They did.
They went up to Sydney with us, and their interaction with the whole pack was wonderful.
That's it.
They got to the Gold Coast. It was interactive stuff, Jim. It felt like they were there. It felt like we led a tour party. And then we got back in one piece.
Now, Gary, I just want to just quickly discuss last week and the leadership, because as I understand, and where I wasn't able to get full reception, but I understand what came out of the speakers, pristine. But from what I hear, your desire for leadership dropped off a touch once the old microphones were turned off. Now, am I right or not? Were you then a little do what you like,
all
boys?
that matters, Jim, I'm a bit more of your Mick Malthouse style, as opposed to the Nathan Buckley micromanager. I'm more of do what you want.
Let them go.
But at 6, when the lights come on, give us your best stuff, and then I don't care if you get in at 6:30. So that night, that's exactly what Warrior did.
It appeared a bit of the behaviour that trained off a touch, Gary.
I knew I had to get up again for the next day. I had to go to bed to make my notes, because you just don't start talking.
No.
Warrior just said, no, I'm out. I'm
Not
going.
long in, Purple.
He just I think he went straight to the airport.
That's it.
Barry Denner
The people's caller was in the drip tray.
Well, we lost Barry Denner for 3 hours, and we just followed a trail of nacho shells, and there we found him curled up by the bottom of the bar. And then Big Schwatter, who's just a real weird-ass sort of setup, who drinks soy mocha sort of style.
Different.
But what they did, Jim, was called it absolutely magnificent.
Like I say, the 6 hours.
Seamless transition.
You leave him one bloke out.
Spud.
Well, this is like...
No, Spud's become a freak.
My main
What's
man.
happened to him?
My main man. Now,
you're responsible for him almost entirely anyway.
So who can I liken him to in a footy sense? It's just sort of back to
Rob Wiley to Mick Malthouse?
No. It's sort of back to your Brent Croswell day.
No.
And you
what?
Just a
Brent Croswell's way more talented than Spud.
No. But a real sort of wild card. If you don't know how to treat, if you don't know how to get the best out of him, then you've got problems. But I was able to keep him under control. The pink carry on, that wasn't doing it for me. That was not doing it for us, Jim. And he rolled that into Sydney. And old Purple's just started choking. He said, have a look at Spud.
I know.
I don't think he
and the Adelaide players, as I got some real strong feedback from them about how poor his look was.
We made sure Bernie Vince saw it.
Well, Bernard was the main one I got feedback from.
And Paddy Dangerfield was just embarrassed for a male.
Truck Rutten just shook his head, just looked at him and said, the defenders is gone. Richie Douglas, who's a very nice little nipsy who we haven't had much to do with on Triple M, he charged over. See what's going on with Spud?
Matty Yench loved it.
Oh, Yench.
Well, what we've tried to get through to Spud, and it's been for a long time now, is that aesthetics are as important as anything else we do. You need to carry a look at Triple M that means that you're above everyone else.
No,
we can't have our nippers wandering through the airport, Gary, dragging us all under.
And you should have seen him, because once we got onto an earlier flight, Jim, at one stage, which was very beneficial
Necessary.
For us. And we all repaired back to the bar. Our Warrior had been at least an hour without a beer.
I was shaky.
He sprinted the bar.
Needed one.
We were just sort of all very happy with ourselves because we got onto a 5:20, I think. And at about 5:10... Jetstar flight to Melbourne cancelled. You need to recheck in. Well, you've never seen...
You should have seen Gaz's face at that point.
4 blokes got up and sprinted. I couldn't move. I just said, this is not it. Spud charged
Did
out.
he?
and we had to go back onto the original flight that we were on to, and then as he walked, so I had to walk through the airport twice with this pink thing.
That's it.
And in the end, he had it between his legs. He was trying to hide it. It was an embarrassing end of what had otherwise been a very successful sojourn.
And Jetstar would have suited Spud because it's all the one class, so he didn't have to head back down into cattle, which is what he does otherwise.
I tell you
what about
what,
Gaz, though, JB? 12E.
Oh.
I tell you what, Jim. Jetstar... Never again.
Harry.
I've told Lee ever. I got into the
spenders on our station.
Well, let me give you some idea of what you should do with that money. We sat in my seat. Warrior's sitting next to me, right? And anyway, the plane took off, and I hit my button to get my seat back because at this stage my knees were behind my ears, and my sciatic nerve had popped.
That's it.
Anyway, I'm going to Warrior. He's had his earphones on, so I'm punching him. I'm saying his seat doesn't move, Warrior. He said, they don't go back on Jets. No. I said, you've got to be joking. He said, no. So I sat like bolt upright like this for about 40 minutes, and then I just had enough. And the girl walked past. I said, excuse me, young lady. And she said, yes. I said, I can't find my earphones. At least I wanted to listen to some love song and dedication or something, on the Channel 10. And she goes, we forgot to pack them. I said, I beg your pardon. And she goes, we forgot to pack them. No, I looked at the Warrior, and I was just gone. I had nothing. And then she goes, what are we going to do with them anyway?
She didn't know.
That
wasn't said.
Hey, on my kids' lives. I said, what was I going to do with them? I was going to plug them into the thing, and she goes,
there is no.
We don't have that on this plane.
What were you on?
So at that stage, I grabbed Warrior in a headlock and pinched his iPad and ripped his
took my earphones and listened to my iPad
off him. I said, you twiddle your thumbs, Warrior. I need something.
Clearly I need to be on the road again. If I'm going to have a little break, I can't, because Spud's embarrassed us all.
I tell you,
it can't happen again.
It was.
It's basically as simple as that.